Hello, Nanaimo. I want to begin this week by acknowledging the tragedy that occurred during NATO military training exercises in the Ionian Sea off the coast of Greece. It appears that 6 Canadians have lost their lives, 6 young people who gave their devotion and their concern and their duty to this country, including Captain Kevin Hagan, formerly of Nanaimo. We have apparently lost one of our own during this time, and on behalf of the city, I wish to extend to their families and to the other crew members and to all those who serve in our armed forces our condolences and offer our support at this tragic time. It is particularly hard for those people in Nova Scotia who have seen so much tragedy recently. I also want to talk this week about a much more mundane topic, and that is our tax situation. As the city prepares to finalize its budget for May 15th, we have 2 meetings scheduled for May the 4th and May the 11th, at which time decisions will be made respecting potential tax increases for the upcoming fiscal year. I must say that we have been able to reduce through savings already the projected increase of 5.2% to 4.5%, and we're certainly looking at additional measures to try and reduce the tax burden and also to even out that tax burden over the fiscal years this year and next, rather than load one tax increase heavy year burden on taxpayers this year and next year. This presents challenges for us. We will do our best, and I appreciate all of you who've taken the time to write to the city and give us advice and views on this. I'm also pleased to announce that with the agreement and support of BC Housing and Island Health, the community service building at 285 Perdocey will be partially used in the future, commencing in June, as an emergency shelter for those of our vulnerable population who are homeless or at risk of being homeless, who may be suffering or have already contracted the COVID virus. The concept is to provide a place where they can safely self-isolate without further spreading the COVID virus through the community, and the shelter will operate as long as is necessary. In other words, as long as the virus continues to plague our community. This represents a level of cooperation between the city and BC Housing and Island Health that is important as we try and work our way through this health crisis. If you have any questions respecting this, you can contact BC Housing at communityrelations@bchousing.org. And finally, this Sunday is the 133rd anniversary of the #1 Esplanade Mine Explosion. It was an event like no other in this community's history since incorporation, scarring this community. 149 miners died. Another member of the rescue team died as well. 150 people killed. The worst mining disaster in the history of this province, and the second worst in the history of this country, exceeded only by the Hillcrest mine disaster in 1914 in Alberta that took 189 lives. We must never forget. And as we struggle through the COVID virus, I want to say to all citizens of Nanaimo, some of whom are descended from the very people who died in that disaster, this community had a population of approximately 2,000 souls at the time. Imagine the deaths of 150 people and the impact it had. So the flag will fly at half-mast in honor, and we will not forget in this community those who helped build it and died in a dreadful accident that helped promote a level of safety, finally, that was so necessary in our mining industry. I also want to recognize that it also reflected an aspect of racism that hopefully is gone from this country. The Chinese miners who were killed in that disaster never had names in the official reports. They were given their work numbers. We've come a long ways from that, a much improved community, but we do not forget our history in Nanaimo and our heritage. I'm also very pleased to announce today that the city is supporting local non-profit food service providers at recreational facilities in Nanaimo, working with the Loaves and Fishes Food Bank, Nanaimo Food Share, and Island Roots Market, providing access to recreation facilities that would otherwise be closed as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. Bottle donations continue to be welcomed by the food bank and can be dropped off at multiple locations across the city. The Island Roots Market Cooperative is preparing to open the Island Roots Market on Wednesday, May 13th at the outdoor location at Bevan Park next to the Centennial Building. And Nanaimo Food Share will be using the Centennial Building at Bevan Park to fill boxes for the Good Food Box program. This represents the kind of positive cooperation that is occurring all over the city as we work together through these difficult times.